Hello boys and girls, welcome to another POV review by Auto.nl. My name is Max and I'm here to tell you some stuff about this all new Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, or QV as most of you will know it. It's the performance version of the Giulia. I think the Giulia is it's quite pretty, but when you see it like this as a Quadrifoglio, this looks insane. I mean, all those angles and little cool details, carbon fiber all around. I think it looks absolutely stunning. We have this crazy cool carbon fiber rear spoiler, decklet spoiler, which is pretty seriously angled. So this is really for the rear axle and to push it down on the ground. Nice diffuser, 4 exhausts or exhaust tips, which are quite nicely positioned, just above one above the other. We have really cool matte titanium wheels with carbon ceramic brakes and red brake calipers. We have, of course, the Quadrifoglio Verde right here, clover I think it's called in English, 4-leaf clover. The front is really aggressive with another carbon fiber detail here, this front lip or spoiler or splitter, whatever you want to call it. Quite big Alfa Romeo logo and grille with those intercoolers behind them, really cool. Quite angry front lights. These cool things which are functional, so they are open. Yeah, I think this looks really cool. And let me show you another cool detail from the back. Okay, check out these seats. How freaking cool are these seats? They are made by Sparco and this is all carbon fiber. Man, I think these are one of the coolest seats I've ever seen. This is just incredible. And they look very nice from here as well. Yeah, so the positioning is really nice. It's nice and firm. It's not uncomfortable, but you won't scoot over when you're going through corners quickly. So Alfa Romeo says that they have designed the Giulia from the QV down, from the Quadrifoglio. So they say we built this one first and then we started doing the normal Giulias. And I don't know if I believe it, because you know it's very convenient marketing wise, but I do think that in this Quadrifoglio version it looks absolutely stunning. And I do believe that when you see it like this, it is supposed to be this aggressive and really dedicated. Man, I think it's one of the most cool cars from the, you know, in the last 5 years or something. It's definitely a hell of a lot more exciting to look at than, for example, an M3, which is sort of common, but you know, I have to be careful with what I say. So let's take a look at the interior, which is pretty nicely designed, I think. Especially this button right here for the engine. Press it once and everything switches on. I actually also like this screen, which is, you know, it's only this big, but it's nicely done with that other black stuff. The carbon fiber looks really good. The buttons are quite cheap, but you know, yeah, they are not on the same level as BMW, Mercedes or Audi. Everything is really, I don't know, it doesn't really feel like a car worth 107 or 103,000 euros. I think it's in the Netherlands. Yeah, this is yeah, I don't really like that, but Other than that, I think it looks really cool. I think they did a great job. The steering wheel is really cool with this aluminium look. Yeah, I think they did a good job. So searching for the start button already. So it sounds pretty raspy. Let's start in normal mode and go for a drive. We have the manual version, obviously. So there's also an automatic version with a 8-speed ZF gearbox, which I would have also liked to test and drive, but you know, this kind of car with a manual is really cool, and I'll tell you more about the manual gearbox in a moment. So when you're driving like this, just in normal mode and just cruising, it's quite comfortable actually. It's not bouncy, and the gas is nice and progressive now, so it's not jumpy. But you do feel when you hit it a bit that this car has some serious power. So something I did immediately notice when driving it was that there is quite a lot of sound from the tires, from inside the wheel arches, like little stones and stuff, and there's quite a bit of wind noise. So, you know, finishing wise, it's not really on par with the German 3. So the system, let's talk about the system for a bit. Yeah, it's not really all that impressive, I have to say. It looks okay, it works fine, but I always get the sense with systems like these that this is a new car. They have developed this, and it just looks like it's 5 or 6 years old. The screen between the dials, however, is pretty nice. It's quite sharp and gives you the right information. Something I really do like in this system is you can go to My Car, and there you have your tire information, and it will tell you whether the brakes are cold, normal or hot. So these brakes, when I started the POV earlier, they were blue, so they were cold. Now they are normal, but they are carbon ceramic brakes, so I don't think on a road like this I would get them to heat up, so I'm not going to try. And you can see your maintenance stuff and the oil levels. So I think that they have done that pretty well, and I think that's a cool feature. Let's put it in dynamic mode, and we have this little button for the suspension, and we can click it and you will see that the suspension has gone in soft mode. So this is kind of like the Autobahn setting, but we're going to keep it in stiff mode. Yeah. Okay, so this is the sharpest setting. We can also go to race, which also switches all the systems off. So let's keep it in dynamic for now. Yeah, so everything is at its sharpest. The engine is a bit more present as well. The exhaust. So driving wise, the steering feel is quite nice. Actually, it's really nice. It's not really heavy, it's not light, it's just the right weight. We all often talk about the M3's Servotronic, which is just way too heavy, and this is seriously good. The gearbox is not as good as I would have liked. I think it's not really smooth, so you do get a nice click when you shift gears, and you do feel really well which gear you're going to, so you'll never have a misshift or something because it's really tight and really well done. But I don't know, it's not for shifting quickly. So when you're trying to do 0 to 100 or 200 or 250 acceleration tests, it's not that easy to do it quickly, and it has the part of that is because of the gear lever itself and the weight and how it's connected or something, and part of it is because the clutch is quite light and it's tricky to get it right. I think it sounds really great, by the way. And we have a sync rev, so when I shift down, it automatically blips the throttle to match the revs, and it does so only in dynamic mode, and it works really well, and it's pretty convenient. So it's also very grippy. This is, you know, this is just full throttle, no problem whatsoever, and it's really seriously quick. This thing will do 3.9 to 100 kph with the manual as well as with the automatic gearbox. Now that's just, you know, you have to be the Stig or someone like that to be able to get this thing from 0 to 100 kph in 3.9 seconds, but apparently it's possible, and it will go on to a very impressive 307 kilometers per hour, which is really crazy. But we have tried it on the autobahn, of course, and it really struggled when you got over 280 kph, because it has that rear lip on the boot lid, which is pretty steep, so it really presses you down, and that's not really great for top speed tests. So without it, I think it would do 300 kph easily, but with this thing on the back, it's a struggle. You'd need a whole lot of room to be able to do that. Okay, so let's put it in race mode. So everything is at its sharpest right now. I get a big tacho in front of me, and it will also give me shift lights. I'll show them to you right after this speed bump. Okay, so if let's launch it from a standstill, if no one comes up behind me. So ESC is off. Let's give it some beans. Yeah, it will spin up the rear tires quite quickly, but it will also give you a nice pop on the rev limiter. So did you see the lights? I was too late there, but I wanted to show you those lights. They go in 3 stages. So firstly you get one yellow block. Let me show you again, and then it says shift. So that's pretty handy, and it's also a bit more aggressive in race, but I heard it can be quite tricky with the ESC off, because, you know, 510 horsepower in a Giulia is quite crazy. Yeah, so it has a 2.9 liter twin turbo V6. They say it's not the same engine as in the California T, but I'm doubting that, because, you know, it's just 2 cylinders less. I think it's the same engine. I mean, this thing is seriously quick. It handles well, it's quick. So is it on par with a BMW M3? I think not. Dynamically it is. So when it comes to performance, when it comes to steering, feel, handling, grip, it's really an excellent car actually. But when it comes to a car, you know, developing a car you have to drive often. I think there are some rattles here and there. When you get over 250 or something, it becomes quite way-worthy, so it doesn't really track the way you would want it to. It just doesn't feel as balanced as a BMW M3 or a C63 or something like that. But I think it is a really good effort by Alfa. I mean, this is something they haven't done for a long time, and it's a welcome refreshment in this segment, I have to say. So that was it for this POV review. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let us know, would you get this over an M3? Because I think an M3 competition is pretty much the benchmark in this class. Or C63. Let us know what you would prefer. Would you go for this crazy Alfa? I would really like to know. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you haven't yet to get updates on new content and stuff. And we are also on Facebook and Instagram, so you can also follow us over there. Thanks guys, see you at the next one. Okay, something else I really don't like is the hazard lights come on really quickly. I'm braking for this corner and there they go. That's it. This is supposed to be a fast car, you know. You're going to brake hard sometimes. It's ridiculous. And I'm not braking. This is like half the pedal. Come on, that's ridiculous. I think when you put it in race, it doesn't, but it's ridiculous.